my sources have their money on Governor Burgum. I'm gonna have to learn to say that right? Like nobody knows who he is. Everybody's like, wait, who's this guy? And JD Vance. We know JD very, very well. But who is Doug Burgum? Well, I'll tell you, he had the right answer when he was asked on CNN this weekend about how important the VP spot was. Let's go to him. Let me introduce you to the governor of one of the Dakotas.
But let me move on because, as I mentioned, you are one of Donald Trump's top contenders to be vice president. I've heard from sources that really they believe it's down to you and to Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio. Of course, the caveat, Trump could change his mind. But when you look at the ticket and we look at vice presidential selections in the past, you know, Joe Biden helped Barack Obama with foreign policy and experience. Mike Pence helped Donald Trump with evangelicals. Kamala Harris, black voters, women voters for President Biden. What would you bring to a Trump ticket specifically?
Well, I think we have to just look at the fact that President Trump can win this race regardless of who his vice president is. He's got the luxury of not having to pick someone. And I think if we actually look in political history, the last time a vice presidential pick actually helped swing an election was when Kennedy picked Lyndon Johnson, and Lyndon Johnson helped Kennedy win that race. And with President Trump right now, where he is with Hispanics, with blacks, with people under age 30, and with independents, I mean, he's very strong across the board. So he can pick someone that he can focus on, like, hey, let's get someone get stuff done. Let's get someone who helps him govern. He doesn't have to make a choice like some of the others names that you cited, where maybe they needed a blend to actually get the electoral block.
But what would you bring to the ticket specifically if you're on it? Would it be your business experience? You know, you talked about governing. What is it specifically? Why should he pick you, basically?
Well, I think that's up to President Trump. President Trump understands the criteria that he wants. He's going to make that choice at the time he makes it. He's got a lot of great choices, and I think everybody, the whole country maybe knows my background, which is both success in business and success as in the executive branch as governing. But that's his choice on what criteria that he wants. And again, when we've got this big week and the big debate going this week, nobody's really thinking about the VP thing this week. And we should really be focusing on, you know, how is Joe Biden going to defend his record on an open border? I mean, we take a look at what's happening in our country with the, you know, migrant crime that's happening, whether it's teenage girls, whether it's mother of five, or whether it's young college-age women. We've got an issue with an open border, and Joe Biden needs to answer why he keeps insisting on having this open border policy.
Okay. So basically, he had the right answer on everything. I mean, Donald Trump, I know him. I can tell you this. I don't think he wants any friction, right? Like, he doesn't want to deal with someone who is going to steal the limelight. So I know a lot of you love Vivek, and Vivek is awesome. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, there's a plane that just flew into Cleveland, Ohio. That's making the rounds on Twitter as of just about 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, yeah, but you know who else lives in Ohio? JD Vance, Senator Vance lives in Ohio. So it's very well that he could have been there to see him. But he could have been there to see him to say, you know what, JD, I love you. I need you to work hard for me. Hey, maybe Treasury Secretary in your future or something, right? A cabinet position. But I'm going to go with Doug, governor of North Dakota. Because listen to those answers. I mean, that's exactly what he wants. Exactly what he wants. Somebody who's going to work hard, get the job done, has a background in business. So Doug Burgum, he actually does have a background in business. He went to Stanford, got his MBA. Then he worked at McKinsey. McKinsey, mega. It's like the Goldman Sachs of consulting. So bona fides there. Started a software company, sold the software company. Eventually, it went for like $1.1 billion to Microsoft. So this is somebody who's wealthy in his own right. That matters as well to Donald Trump. You know why? Because I think he's a little sick of people being beholden to the system. It's why J.D. Vance, also wealthy in his own right, is a contender, another business person. So you get two business people. I like it. Hey, I'm a business reporter who's covering politics through an economic sort of lens, right? Because I care about what's going on economically. I think it's the key, actually, frankly, to everything. And so I love seeing business people up there for it. It's why I would put both of these guys way ahead of Tim Scott or even Marco Rubio. Now, there's a lot of sort of GOP money that likes Marco Rubio, and certainly Marco can speak Spanish, so he's got that going for him. But I suspect Donald Trump wants somebody who will carry his water and fade a little bit into the background. And there is no one that's going to fade into the background better and just get deals done and be able to speak the language, if you would, with donors that Doug Berman's going to do. So anything can happen. And I think actually all of these picks are pretty amazing. But I suspect at this point in time, it's Doug Berman.